Hey everybody. Good morning everyone. Let's look at some of the material dropped by the Video Game History Foundation. For those unaware, is this even, I don't even think I'm broadcasting. The heck? No, it just says waiting on the YouTube end. I think it might be up on Twitch, but not up on the YouTube end. This might be unlisted or something. It's been 84 years. No, it says it's up. I don't know why it's not. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it took YouTube a moment. We're going to look at the Video Game History Foundation stuff that was dropped concerning E3 in the 90s and early 2000s. There's a lot of cool Saturn stuff in this dump. Let's see, do I have the next generation stuff downloaded? I don't. I'm going to pull it up. So some of the stuff that was in this this tranche of information from the Video Game History Foundation. Hang on. My keyboard is very out of reach. I'll swap over to the screen view here in a moment. I'm just pulling it up right now. There's new E3 tapes. One of them, as I've already shown to the world a little bit ago, shows Tom Kalinske responding to the 299 speech directly. We'll go over that here in a sec. I just want to make sure I got everything pulled up here. And he did not respond very effectively to that. We'll just say that. And again, this was like 31 years ago, so it's like breaking news from 31 years ago, right? Just trying to make sure I got everything pulled up before I go to everything. Okay. There we go. Event videos. Okay. Some of them I had just downloaded for the sake of convenience already. We'll go ahead and swap screens now. Nope. Hang on. Wrong shortcut. There we go. I think that was the one. Yeah, that was the one. Beautiful. Hey to everybody in the chat, we got Top Ramen, Now and Them, Starlight. Yeah, that's what that name is. Alan 101, George. Welcome to the chat all. Any Ratman footage? Good question. And yes, with these tapes, we will finally find out who the real murderer of the Sega Saturn is. It was me. I did it. All right. Hang on. We'll go over the one that everybody's kind of already seen. A lot of this, a lot of the tapes that they dropped were higher quality versions of tapes that were already posted to YouTube. So some of you might recognize this external shot of the convention center where E3 occurred in 1995. Mitch Hall representatives will be visiting exhibitors. Now that's an extraordinary. So this is Tom Kalinske's presentation. You know, Sony did their 299 speech where they, you know, had a guy walk up and say 299, showing that their console is going to be $100 cheaper. Geez, okay, hang on. I might have to start over. The stream's not working at all. I'm going to restart the stream. My internet might be too bad to do this right now. One sec. Oh, wait, no, I was able to stop the Twitch stream. Okay, that one ended. If it keeps reconnecting and disconnecting like this, I don't think I'm gonna go on like this. I'll probably just stop for the day. So anyway, after Sony gives their speech, this is the new stuff that we haven't seen yet. There's our guy Tom. There's Tom Kalinske in the crowd and the gaggle of press people. A lot of people keep asking him questions, and eventually he just decides to get back up on the podium. He's like, listen, if we're going to do a press gaggle, we're going to do a press gaggle.
So we're trying to satisfy those consumers. Secondly, the point of any strategy is to have a competitive advantage over the other guys. And by launching early, that gives us an advantage. They can't do it. Neither Sony can do it nor Nintendo can do it. So that's our competitive advantage. We think being first is important. It's going to build up the
All right, so then he gets up there. He's like, all right, we're just going to do this the old-fashioned way. We're doing a press conference.
If you have a question, please raise your hand.
Raise your hand. I'll try to see it.
Please identify yourself.
here. Hi, Scott Etrick with the Hollywood Reporter. Is there a counter move now? Sony's announcement of the $299 price point.
Well, we said
First question out of the gate.
$299 without software. So we're $399 with a $60 unit of software included. So if you backed out our software, our comparable price is $340. So we always knew we'd be a higher price system. We are in Japan. Each company knows what their product is worth. And as I said, we're outselling them in Japan with about the same price differential.
You could like hear people laughing as he's like giving this response to what was essentially a very good attack from Sony. Hey, your console may have launched early, but ours is going to be $100 cheaper. You lose. I was talking with people on social about this, with a couple of people who were in this room as this was going on, and one of them said that this did not necessarily feel like the end of the Saturn, but this was a very, very exciting moment for PlayStation. This was a very, very exciting moment for anyone who was trying to figure out what Sony was cooking. And this made it clear that they're going to be competitive. They're not messing around, right? Like this is for real skis.
So no surprise.
I've already gone over a lot of this on social and online. I just want to get on to the part where he gesticulates the steering wheel because it's really funny. Let me see if I can get to it. Steve races with Sony. This guy's Mike. I forgot his last name. The guy at the stash. He gets up to talk about peripherals in a second.
An arcade stick for the first.
Here it is.
Provides us with a very, very important strategic advantage. There's a huge pent-up demand for next generation gaming, as Sony themselves said. We right now are the only game in town and the best game in town, and that's something that will be very, very difficult for our competitors to overcome. So the strategic significance of announcing at the price point, packing in Virtua Fighter, which is the #1 arcade game going right now, is very, very important for Sony.
He calls Virtua Fighter the #1 arcade game, which might have been true in Japan, but that was certainly not true in the U.S. And the Virtua Fighter port they're launching with was like, air quotes, the bad one. Like it wasn't really that bad, but anyway, here we go. Look at Tom. This is just funny. Here he goes. He does a mission stick gesture here too, which might get this live stream age restricted.
All the way down to the clicking of the buttons. We have a mission stick.
Is the audio off? No, it's not off. Shouldn't be.
Or an actual analog guidance.
If the audio's not working, if you guys aren't hearing anything, definitely let me know. Hang on. Yeah, levels are bouncing in OBS. I don't know. It seems to be fine.
Our 6-player tap, which will allow in certain games, for example, NHL.
So there's a part of a tape that I haven't seen yet that someone close to me pointed out. It was another previously unseen Tom Kalinske interview at E3 1995 and the Next Generation tape. I haven't watched this yet. Again, if the audio is or is not working, definitely. Audio is good. You can hear me? Okay, you can hear it. Great. All right. Awesome. Great. That comment on it reflecting well for Sony more than it hurting Sega is valid. Don't forget how many other consoles were saturating the market at dead-end high prices. Very real. All right, so Danthrax told me at timecode 120 of this Next Generation tape, there's more Tom footage. Hang on, I got to scrub to it. Oh, hang on, is that Cherry Coke van? Wait, what's this? Do they have a Sega Saturn chicken coop? What is going on? Was there a Sega Saturn chicken coop at E3? I'm sorry, I need to run that back. Maybe they're pigeons. Those might just be pigeons. I'm going to go ahead and say those were pigeons.
It's out there! I've been dying to say that. Say Sega Saturn is out there. Sega Saturn is out there.
Nice, my man. All right. Shout out to the Cherry Coke van driver. Let's go.
Oh, that's cute.
All right, this is great. So there's a lot of like Saturn advertising outside E3 that we haven't seen before. There's a lot more street ads than what we knew about. Oh, that shot kills me. All right, let's go to 120. So here we are inside the convention center, and apparently Tom K is going to start spitting fire here in a sec. There's some bug footy. What are they standing on? Is this like one of those high... Oh, there's a film thing reel. Okay, it's a film reel. It's a little projector thing.
Thomas J. Kalinsky, President and CEO of Sega of America.
He went by Thomas for this one. All right.
Now, I heard
serious.
Sega Saturn was supposed to launch September 2nd, and now it's launching at E3. What's going on?
Well, the consumers really demanded it.
Hang on. I'm just going to increase volume there a little bit because we want to hear what he's saying. All right. Consumers apparently demanded the early launch. That's where we're at. Here we go.
Now, they know that the product's available in Japan. We've had a lot of people buy the product for $800, the Japanese version brought over from Japan. And so we wanted to satisfy the consumer need earlier than September and decided to launch today.
Okay, so this soundbite actually was made public before. This is just a much higher quality version. Based on what I've seen that's out there right now, I think if there's anything beyond this, if there's any interview with Tom beyond this soundbite, then that is all going to be new stuff. What he just said was a soundbite that definitely was published publicly before this tape was put out there by the Video Game History Foundation. Let's see if there's anything else.
Where can I get a Sega Saturn?
You can find Sega Saturn in 1,800 different retail stores across the country. Toys R Us, electronic boutiques, Babbage's, software, etc.'s are in stock right now.
So that's a lie. Straight up, they were not available in all U.S. markets on May 11th. It took several months for them to come out gradually. I have a post about this, or, well, I should say the Sega Saturn Shiro article I wrote yesterday has that screenshot of a Business Wire article showing the month-by-month rollout. They did not have Saturns in every U.S. market on May 11th. That is a straight-out lie.
When can we expect national-wide distribution?
Well, we're going to be shipping to the rest of the retailers as soon as we can.
Oh, okay, never mind.
It's until July and probably part of August before we're
He
in
clarifies.
every single store in this country. There's a lot of stores in this country, 20, 30,000
Never
stores.
mind. He clears it up.
Who are you targeting with Sega Saturn?
We think that Saturn appeals
All right, so he corrected himself mid-interview. That's good. Okay, so Tom Kalinsky did not lie to the people. That's great.
primarily to the 17 to 30-year-old. We think it's an older target, probably not the 6 to 12-year-old.
Now, there's a lot of systems floating around in there that people are calling next generation. So, to clear it up for the consumer, why is Sega Saturn the system to have?
Well, Sega Saturn is truly the ultimate in a gaming machine. It has three 32-bit processors in it. These are the same processors that drive our arcade machine.
Okay. I don't know what he means by three 32-bit processors. Yeah, I don't know. That might be technically correct if, like, maybe the sound chip or one of the VDP chips is 32-bit or something. I don't know.
Machines. So we have a migration of technology from our electronic high-tech theme parks to arcades.
Yeah, he
to
still looks the
consumer,
same 30 years later.
level now with the Sega Saturn.
Do you feel you're going to have an advantage by launching Saturn early against the competition?
Well, that's one of the other reasons for doing it, of course, is to start getting the consumer excited about Saturn before our competition is able to.
Now, how many titles are we looking at for launch?
We're going to have 10 titles at launch, 20 by August, September, and then 80 by Christmas.
My name is Tim Dunley, and
Competition is able to.
Now, how many titles are we looking at for launch?
All right, I think I've already dunked on him on this one before, but I just want to talk about this again. Let's hear what he has to say for a sec.
We're going to have 10 titles at launch, 20 by August, September, and then 80 by Christmas.
All right, 10 titles at launch, 20 by August/September, 80 by Christmas. Let's see how they did. It was only 6 at launch, just these 6. August, September. If we're going by just August, it's 13. If we're going by September, to his credit, that is exactly 20 by the end of September. No, you know what? No, that's 19. That's right. These are off by 1. So he was close. 80 by Christmas. That would be FIFA Soccer 96 on the 23rd, before Thunderstrike 2 came out on the 27th, which is after Christmas. So that's 47 titles out by Christmas. So he did not meet that goal.
My name is Tim Dunley, and I'm Director of Marketing for Sega Saturn.
What is Sega Saturn for the person that just sees this awesome-looking graphic on the screen?
Well, Sega Saturn is Sega's next-generation gaming system. It's really our flagship product. It's a truly revolutionary gaming system that offers a different, more immersive kind of gameplay experience.
What are you, let's say I have a Genesis, or even a 32X, what am I going to get with Sega Saturn that I'm not getting ever before on any other system, for that matter?
Well, I think you get all the, you get better gameplay than you have in the past with existing game systems. But because of the power of the system and because of the unique architecture of the Sega Saturn, you really get a different experience. It's really a revolutionary gaming system as opposed to an evolutionary gaming system.
Now, how did Sega bring its arcade heritage into the structure of Sega Saturn?
Well, that's really one of our strengths. Our arcade heritage has allowed us to design the hardware that's capable of bringing, the games that you see around us, these $20,000 arcade systems, bring the exact experience and same software experience into your living room.
So this guy's kind of on the right page, and I just want to, I don't know if Kalinske was lying per se. His goalposts on what counts as the Saturn launch might have been skewed by the fact that they hadn't rolled out to every market by May 11th and that they were still gradually rolling out month to month. But he was definitely wrong. They definitely did not have 10 titles at launch, and they certainly did not have 80 by Christmas. They were very far from having 80 by Christmas. So whether or not he was consciously lying, or if it was just, his goalposts on what counts as a launch and the expectations of what he thought was going to come out by Christmas, those expectations were not met, of course. So, I don't know. The thing that I wanted to, I want to know what he meant by 3 32-bit processors, because it had 2. And I guess there's a million chips in that machine. You could really count any of them as a processor to the press, and they'll, take it at face value. Most people at home shopping for consoles in 1995 probably did not care about what specific chips were on the motherboard, right? So you could say things like 2 processors, 3 processors, and maybe be technically correct. I don't know.
Tom Abramson, Vice President of Marketing for Sega Sports.
Oh, all right,
With
sportsman.
Saturn and Sega Sports, you're going to get more of what you've already
Why
been
is Tim lying?
to. You're going to get all the teams, all the leagues, all the players. You'll get all the stadiums. You'll get new dimension. You'll get all action, new audio, more commentators, behind-the-scene looks, and you'll be able to have behind-the-scenes gameplay.
So was Tim Kalinske lying? I don't know, but he was certainly wrong about most of a lot of the stuff that he mentioned in that interview. Shout out to Calibri. So it looks like this portion of the tape is just raw game capture. Interesting. I didn't know they were showing off 32X Virtua Fighter at the E3 show floor. That looked very early compared to what came out. What is Shadow Squadron? Is this Stellar Assault? That might be Stellar. I don't know. I'm not familiar with what this is supposed to be, I'll be honest. I know the 32X did have a lot of canceled games. Here's a launch title. They boasted NHL All-Star Hockey's 12-player mode in that little press gaggle that I showed you earlier, saying you could do 6-on-6 hockey, which I haven't tried out personally, but I have no reason to believe that's wrong. I haven't seen anyone try 12-player NHL All-Star Hockey. The problem is that game's terrible. Even by hockey game standards, it's just really bad. And then the guy, Mike, next to Tom Kalinske in that press gaggle, really wanted to make 12-player a thing. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, hell yeah. The Virtua Wheel. The arcade racer, whatever they called it. So this is Blackfire, that subpar helicopter combat game. It was not out by this point. It hadn't come out for at least a few months after E3. But whatever we're going to see here is probably close to a final version of the game. It's been a while since I've looked at Blackfire. If you developed Blackfire, I'd love to interview you. This is a game I really want to interview a developer for, because I'm sure there's a story behind what the heck happened here. The only... I tried my best to get people on the record to talk about Blackfire. The problem is that one of the main developers behind this game did pass away some time ago. So some of the stories of whatever happened with the development of this game are no longer around. And a couple of the other people who I think are still alive, I just couldn't find contact info for. One of them got laid off by Activision, I know that. I tried straight up calling Activision, and I was like, hey, is your guy there? And they're like, yeah, no. That was rough. Looks like they're showing off the Japanese version of Estelle because, nerd moment here, there's more than 3 hit points on the GUI. Now, what game is that? Now, here's Street Fighter the movie, a classic. Shadow Squadron is Stellar Assault outside Japan. That's what I thought. Okay, I only knew the game as Stellar Assault, and it just looked like Stellar Assault. Oh, it's a mock. Okay. I didn't know they were showing this off at E3 95. That's crazy. I had no idea they were showing this off this early. Maybe I did at one point and forgot. I don't know. There's a lot of video games out there. I like this next generation tape because, I mean, I don't know if it's for sure new, but I've never seen anything in this tape before. This is all new footage, I'm pretty sure. Definitely new to me. With the exception of a couple clips that I guess Next Generation must have published later. Oh, nice. We got some real crunchy Virtual Boy footage. A mock is a PC port, question mark? I forgot. The Shiro boys talked to one of the developers who worked for the company that made a mock and Scorcher. I don't remember what the story behind it was. I know that was a pretty crazy story, though. I'd recommend finding that interview's on the Shiro channel. It's really good. That developer got extremely screwed over by its publisher. Got some Donkey Kong Country. All right, what's at the beginning of this next gen tape? I kind of glazed over the start of this. Oh, this guy's hilarious. He's in other tapes from E3 95. He's like really talking up the 3DO, making it sound like this is, the second coming of Jesus, the second coming of Segata, even though he was, doing his first arrival at the time. Got some balls? Hell yeah. Oh, okay, that's right. So this game wasn't out yet, at least not on Saturn. Looks like it's running on a 3DO right now in this tape. We laugh at dumb Sega USA, but what did the Japan execs do? More balls content in 2026. I know in Japan there was a lot of back and forth of... I don't know if it's a lot of back and forth per se, but it was more like... They started out wanting the Saturn to be a 2D console because the console game developers in Japan at Sega were more adept at making 2D games. 3D was more of an arcade thing. That was what arcade developers did. And then along the way, they were like, nah, we should probably put 3D on the Saturn. And it wasn't like put on last minute or anything. It was just not exactly their top priority. Because, again, console game developers at Sega of Japan were more in tune to making two-dimensional games. They eventually learned 3D. And the Saturn eventually became capable at doing 3D if you tweaked it correctly or had one of the later end development libraries. But it was all too little too late. Japan execs were more focused on letting Sega of America and Sega of Europe do their thing, believing that they understood their markets best, and then later realizing that Sega of America, and perhaps Europe to a lesser extent, were wasting a lot of their money. And so they had to pull the reins back a little, reel them in a little, and start controlling them more. And this was around the time when that started. Tom Kalinski's final year was 96, the year after this E3 event, after the Saturn launched in the US.
Some of that's just
nice, Willem Dafoe, let's go.
So people still think of them as toys. Right. Well, I don't want to spend $1,000 on a toy. Right. But if you adjust for inflation, every consumer electronics format was launched at over $1,000. A lot of them were announced at the equivalent of more like $2,000. If you wanted to buy one of the first televisions, that's really what you were looking at. So, I think all of us as consumers maybe we're a little bit spoiled now, but you can get such incredible technology for such little money, and the technology is moving so quickly.
When they designed the Saturn, it wasn't necessarily that they made dumb or incorrect decisions. Just at the time, there was no telling what the future of games was going to be like. Was 3D at home a possibility? Was that viable, right? They did what they knew that they were good at. Then 3D became more of a thing you could do at home, and they were like, "Uh-oh, we better adjust. We'd better adjust course." Remember, they were making FMV games at the time. That's like how uncertain the future of games were. They were making FMV games, literally filming video games. Got some Wipeout action. This is probably PlayStation stuff. Return my balls. I'm pretty sure this is... Oh, that might not have been Worldwide Soccer. That might have been different. Very smart of Sony to show off Tekken at E3 when the Saturn's Virtua Fighter port was in the state that it was in, because this looks so much better than the first Virtua Fighter port. Like, if you were at the show floor and you saw Tekken, and then you saw the Saturn launch with the first Virtua Fighter port. Oh, that's right, they had Toshinden, too, at around this time. Yeah, so... that did not serve the Saturn well, I guess, comparing those fighters. Of course, the Saturn eventually got Virtua Fighter 2 later that year, which looked incredible. Better than the first Tekken, as far as how its graphics look. What the hell is this? Is this Lemmings? I think this is Lemmings. Yeah, oh, that's definitely Lemmings, okay. That's a blind spot for me. I haven't played a lot of Lemmings. I believe Tekken was out in Japan at this point, I'm pretty sure. The Saturn and PlayStation were both out in Japan at this point, along with the first Virtua Fighter port. And Virtua Fighter Remix was, like, about to come out in Japan, too, which is really funny. Shout out to Lemmings. What the hell game is this? I have no idea what this is. Got some more raw capture. Oh, bands again. I'm sorry. I wonder if the auto mods are screwing you up or something. 3D Lemmings was an early PS1 game. Yep. Looked like a quad scroller. It looked like Bug. Hang on, I'm gonna go back to the beginning of this because this is some of the B-roll shots that Next Gen got that are new to me. All Saturn-related scuzz. Discworld, okay, thank you. Another blind spot of mine. I have not messed with Discworld. I think that once I go through the next few minutes of footage here, I will go ahead and play some Virtua Racing. I'm not sure what that was supposed to be. That was after the Sega Saturn... Oh, never mind. Okay. I scrubbed too far back. That was not Saturn related. Oh, these are some great shots of the Saturn booths, though. I'm gonna have to, like, use these in future videos. This is really good stuff. If I was a psycho with lots of free time, I'd re-edit, like, half my videos with this new footage. Unfortunately, I have a life. Nice shot of the billboard outside. Let's go. Got more of the Cherry Coke trucks. Nice. It's good to see more of the Saturn Cherry Coke trucks. Here's our guy again. Someone online mentioned Rayman 32X footage, but I think it's just higher quality footage that we've already seen. Like, I think it's the same shots that we've already seen, they just look better. Don't quote me on that. I haven't scrubbed through all of the new tapes yet to see myself, but I think that's what happened with it. Oh my god, yeah, this footage is going to be great for future videos, 100%. I'm going to use this shot liberally in future videos with the pigeons. This was great. Oh, they had VF2 Arcade at the show floor. Okay. That's good. That was good for Sega. Solid move. Good box shot. Love that. Sega marketing was awesome. It was just very good. I liked all the Sega stickers they slapped, like, outside in the streets. That's just bonkers. Really good shots of the boxes and the promo material. Like, I'm glad this stuff is saved now. I wish we could have one of those cars. Real, honestly. How much would a Sega Saturn Cherry Coke truck go for in today's market? You gotta think, cars do depreciate in value. Vehicles depreciate, but if it had the wrap on it, would it still be valuable? Would it get a Pioneer license plate in North Dakota? Hang on, I need to go back to that, actually. What was on this Choice Cuts demo disc? It zoomed in on the screen for a second, I'm curious. This might be a disc that already came out. Okay, so we got Blackfire, Bug, Clockwork Knight, Myst, Panzer Dragoon, Solar Eclipse, Virtua Fighter, it's the NHL game. I believe this is Pebble Beach Golf Links with our dear Lord and Savior, Craig Stadler. Worldwide Soccer, Daytona USA, and that would be Time Warner Interactive's Virtua Racing. So I wonder if these were all just videos, or if some were demos and some were videos. I can't remember if this is a demo disc that came out or not, or if this is just like an E3 only thing. It's interesting they were showing Solar Eclipse that early, though. I'm going to have to, because I'm working on a Solar Eclipse video.
It's out there. Really. Sega Saturn. It's out there. Really.
Debatable. But yeah, because Solar Eclipse didn't come out till November, till half a year after this show, so... That crash zoom on the guy smiling, geeking out while playing Daytona was pretty good. Oh yeah, I'm certain the Cherry Coke truck is indeed no more. At the very least, the wrap was probably taken off like later that year. They wouldn't have kept that on for very long. Oh, okay. I was wondering what was going on here. So this is like a lifted truck projecting Saturn footage as people drive by. That's great. And it's like, I think that's film. Like, there's a film reel of Saturn footage somewhere out there. That's crazy. Just imagine driving by and seeing Panzer Dragoon footage projected to the side of a building. Oh, we got some Robotica footage? That's great. Alright, I'm gonna get some more coffee, and then I think I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some Virtua Racing. The new PC port, a fan-made PC port of Virtua Racing. Really, it's a MAME wrapper. I did find out through the comments section that the developer says they did not use AI to make the Virtua Racing port. So shout out to Wongzai for making a more accessible emulated Virtua Racing on PC with online support. We'll be playing that here in a second. In the meantime, I'm going to pour myself some coffee and then boot up Virtua Racing. So give me just a second here while I do that. Did that work? I think it did. Alright. I should probably turn the volume down because I think it's really loud. This is a very loud port of Virtua Racing. Alright. Alright. I've returned. What current Saturn fan projects am I hyped for? Right now, the thing I'm most hyped for, and it's probably in part because I'm beta testing it, but it's the patch, the English translation patch for Devil Summoner Soul Hackers, which you can already play on 3DS, but why would you if you can play it on your Saturn? Right, so that I'm pretty hyped for. The development of CubeCat, I'm always hyped for that. XL2, the developer of Hellslave, seems to be coming back to Saturn homebrew development. So whatever XL2 is working on, I'm hyped for. Ponut's working on a first-person shooter demo. Or, well, made the demo, but is working on a first-person shooter game. If you ever played Slide Hop, that was Ponut's game. So imagine that, but a first-person shooter, and maybe that's what Ponut's working on. Yeah, really excited for their game there. That one's gonna be good. I want to play Cold Sept. There was a translation patch for Cold Sept being worked on, but then like an official localization was made for modern consoles in English, like translated by the devs themselves. And so after that happened, the guy translating Cold Sept for Saturn was like, yeah, I'm not going to do this anymore. Posted all his tooling to the homebrew contest to Sega Extreme, and it's like, if anyone else wants to do this, go for it, but it's already done on a modern platform, so I'm not going to bother with this anymore. Which, honestly, valid, and shout out to that homebrew dev for releasing the tooling, at the very least. I need to play that Cold Sept game, though. The official localization of Cold Sept. But if someone patches it to English on Saturn first, I'll just play that instead. But yeah, Soul Hackers is probably the one I'm most excited for, though. But I'm also actively playing a beta version of it, so that's probably why. Super huge bias. Ooh, a 39 flat. Wowzers. Let's go. Played Knights briefly on PC, more arcadey. Knights is an acquired taste. Like, that's a Saturn classic. Whenever I introduce people to Saturn for the first time and I have them play Knights, they either really love it or they really hate it. Like, there's a friend of mine from up north who I convinced to buy a Saturn and Satiator, and he still uses it. He and his wife play it all the time. He hates Knights. I showed him Knights, and he's like, this game's bullshit. I can't play this. This is so bad. Like, it's not for everybody. Some people play it and love it, though. I mean, I think it's a great game. It's definitely like an arcade-style game that only works on a home console, so it never came out in arcades. It's an arcade game made for consoles. That, like, once you get into that mindset of it, Knights becomes good. It's not a game to be beaten, it's a game to be conquered. You gotta replay it and get better at it, get higher ranks and higher scores. It's also pretty. Not having your kid play satanic games? Yeah, you better not show your kid Devil Summoner then. Might open a portal to Satan for your television. People be like, why didn't this get localized in the 90s? Could you imagine if they localized Devil Summoner in the 90s? Like, Night Trap was too much for them. Satanic Panic was, like, still going on. You know, like, that just would not have... I mean, it would have been awesome, but, like, it certainly would have caused some issues. Apparently, Knights is a much more limited version of the cow garden system. Chow garden. How do you pronounce chow? That's a word I've only seen and read. I've never heard it spoken. Wish Knights was a bit more zoomed out. Could you imagine if they localized SMT2 for the SNES? I mean, it would have been awesome. It would have been fantastic. It definitely would have caused some problems. And yet, Kirby had to be angry. Switch version is really good. I assume you're talking about Cold Sept. That's good to hear. Yeah, I need to get it and play it. I've been meaning to. Alright, let's see if I can do it. The joystick is emulating the wheel, so inputting letters is very difficult. Damn it. Almost had it. Hot take here, Bay Bridge is actually the hardest track. Acropolis should have been the medium track. Like, I know Acropolis has the hairpin, but once you drive in manual, the hairpin's nothing. This is actually the hardest track. They had it wrong. No game sound? Seriously? I mean, I had it turned down pretty low. I'm kind of surprised to hear that, though, honestly. Hang on. Been having weird audio issues this stream. Like, I don't know. It's showing levels. I might have had it turned down too low. Overcorrecting for how freakishly loud this game is. I don't know. Let me know if you can hear the game volume or not. It's supposed to be working on my end. I might have just had it turned down too low. The weeb epidemic would have started sooner, yeah. Like, what would Western weeb culture be like if SMT was localized right away? You know, how would that have changed the nerds? What would our world be like? Would there be hover cars? Oh, now you can hear it, but it's very quiet. Okay. I'll turn it up after the next race. I think I was overly cautious of how loud this port of Virtua Racing is. Virtua Racing is an incredibly loud game. So I think I just have it turned down too low. Ooh. We'll take that. That was a okay lap time. Oh no. Oh, that's awful. I checked chat for 1 second and I hit a wall. Don't text and drive. Don't text in Formula 1 race. It's a bad idea. We'd be living in 2050. I assume that's the a response to the "what if SMT was localized right away" question. It'd be like you know when SimCity 2000 like suddenly transitions to the future city, like in the span of a year. It'd be like that. Oh dang, second and third were not too far up ahead there. Beat the game clock though, we'll take that. Recently went to a barcade. They had those arcade machines. That was a 300-in-1 emulator with smooth pixels and joypad. Thoughts? You should have spilled your beer on it while you were there. I'm not disappointed in you. Because, I mean, I don't want to encourage vandalism, but I think the fact that you're asking this question is good. You know, whoopsie, accidentally spilled my pint on it. You know, that would have been the correct move. Main boxes, modern interpretations are soulless, but that wasn't. I think that, like, main boxes are fine at home. And maybe they're fine in arcades and I'm just being too harsh on them.
Select course by step on gas pedal.
Now I think it's a whole nother thing if you got a barcade or whatever and they have like a main machine or two, but they also have like a bunch of real arcade machines, authentic, old parts, CRTs and all. Then it's whatever. Hang on. I accidentally started that in manual. Or in automatic. I wanted to drive in manual. Have I been time traveling back to 90s Tokyo? Not lately. I mean, I guess I am now, in a sense, playing Virtua Racing, but
Select course by wheel and step on gas pedal.
there were lots of main box cabs as a kid in Mexico around town. Right on, right on. As long as you're playing the video games, like, you're fine, you're doing it right. What my issue with this comes with there's an arcade in town. I'm not going to name and shame, but where I live there is a barcade where they have a bunch of the original arcade machines. They have like I don't know, like 30 or so. Just, you know, the Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, those types of like that era of arcade game. But they took out all of the CRT monitors and replaced them with flats. Replaced all the joysticks and buttons so that they're all uniform and they all match each other. And all that's left is maybe the original arcade board and the cabinet that surrounds them. Like, the cabinets themselves, like the exteriors, are definitely authentic. But like nearly all of the internal parts and other things are like replaced with something else. They all have input lag. Like, it's just terrible. That's probably the biggest barcade crime I've seen. There's another one in town that has a bunch of the original arcade machines and maybe a couple of main machines here and there. But like most of what they have is like legit. And like that's fine. Maybe 2 or 3 of the cabinets had replaced the CRT with the flat, which was clearly out of necessity, because CRTs do have a lifespan. We are going to reach a point someday where all of them will die and we won't be able to fix them anymore. They're going to go extinct at some point in our lifetime. But you know, if they're at least trying to keep some of them authentic, then I'm cool with it, and it's fine. I'm also being a snobby nerd, and I'm being overly harsh. So again, the bottom line is as long as you're playing the games, you're fine. Remember, I'm emulating an arcade game while complaining about emulated arcade games, so you just there's many layers of irony to my complaints. I am wrong, is what I'm trying to say. There was a barcade in Fargo, North Dakota called Pixel. That place was fantastic. They only had OG arcade machines with the original parts, and like someone related to the owner of the barcade was like a CRT repair guy and could like, you know, could fix arcade machines, could fix the boards and the CRT monitors. So like anytime something broke there, it'd be fixed like the next week. They had the double wide Darius Burst cab, 4-player Daytona. Someone made a custom Smash Melee arcade cab with like GameCube controllers sticking out of the cabinet, and like that was there for a while. That place was awesome. They closed down because they, I don't know, I forgot why, but they're no longer around, which sucks because that place was amazing. Not sure what happened to all their arcade machines. Someone told me that they were selling them all in like a big lot, and they would only sell all of them in one bundle. Like you couldn't buy individual machines. We gonna get second today? Okay. Second in Acropolis is not awful. That's not awful. Getting first in either Bay Bridge or Acropolis is like really, really difficult to do. All right. 50-second laps down the line. That's okay. That's okay. Arcade machines deserve CRTs. At least the ones... yeah, I completely agree. It's the lag and the way they look on flats. It's just... if you know... the one I was talking about earlier, that barcade, the bad one, clearly just did not gut the CRTs out of necessity, but out of, like, they just felt like doing it. They thought it'd be better. Ah, dang it. Unsuccessful in typing the funny initials today. That's probably the last race for me. I probably got to go here pretty soon. Let me see what chats I missed. Where have I been? I've been around. I'm still making videos and stuff. Just other things going on in life, like job, keep me busy. Arcade near Little Rock that's pretty good with a lot of original machines and pinball. You pay a flat fee, can play all day. That's amazing. That's pretty good. Pure arcades. Not me having 3 or 4 broken CRTs in my apartment. Yo, I got 1 broken one in my apartment right now. I still have that vertical collapse issue with the PVM. I've been meaning to take it up to Western Virginia to get it fixed. I just haven't had the time to, the time and finances to commit to that yet. Like, I could do it right now if I wanted to. It's just like I got other things I got to deal with. Crushed when my dad's big screen from '95 died. Rip, man. R.I.P. to that CRT. We got Bonzikin saying Jesus. I wonder which comment I made that solicited that caused that response in the chat. Computer runs on Satan. So does mine. Yeah, still kicking. The homebrew contest video is next. That one is close to being done. And then I'm working on the solar eclipse video. That one I'm still writing and stuff. I did buy a copy of Solar Eclipse. Here it is. On the back it says, "Ride the Death Pony," which they never say that in the game as far as I'm aware. It's a really funny thing to put on the back of the box. Shout out to the Death Pony. All right, well, this was fun. Thank you all for sticking around, listening to my ramblings, joining me for some hot E3 footage dropped by our friends at the Video Game History Foundation. Shout out to the Video Game History Foundation, by the way, for dumping all that E3 goodness. It's a huge fridge in your office. Yeah. Yes, exactly. It's not that my desk is in the kitchen. It just, gotta have office snacks at the ready all times. The snack freezer. Yeah, the homebrew action this year has been interesting. There have been a lot of good ones this year. There have been some other ones. We'll talk about them later. I'm making a big video about them. Bottom line, homebrew scene's alive and well in the Saturn community. It's doing well. We got a CubeCat build this time around, so that's cool. And nothing from XL2 this time, but we did get a Ponut demo, which is nice. Irvilsoft ported an all-timer. Some newer developers sending in their own stuff and other translations and tooling and stuff that have come out. So yeah, it's neat. The fridge has a nice office attached. That's right. Yeah, that's what's it. That's what's up. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Take care. Have a good rest of your Friday or whatever day it is in your part of the world. And yeah, I don't know when I'll stream again. Friday mornings seem to work, but sometimes they don't. So anyway, yeah. Go play your Sega Saturn. Go watch those E3 tapes from the Video Game History Foundation.